Greetings, folks. Today we're going to take a look at the NHA High School Moral Focus scales and some tools that can be helpful in not just your advisory class, but when you're assessing moral focus across all of our core content classes. So the document that you see on our screen right now is our Priority Standard 9 for moral focus specifically. And the goal of this is that students will meet all moral focus and personal engagement expectations set forth in this course, whether that's advisory, where we're teaching the moral focuses, or in their core content classes. So taking a look, our goal is for students to hit that college ready or 3.0 scale, is that 9.3.1 states that a student submits a majority of their work on time, 90% or more, follows the expectations for assignments, and demonstrates an effort and desire to grow academically. This is how they show both perseverance and integrity. 9.3.2 says that a student is consistently engaged in class, effectively communicates and interacts with others, and positively contributes to the class or school environment. And this is how they can show compassion, gratitude, encouragement, and courage. So that's the goal for all of our students to reach. Anyone who exceeds this would be eligible for that 4.0 option. So 9.4.1, the student exceeds all moral focus expectations consistently, and the key here is independently in class and within the building. So think of your school leaders or students who are always taking the initiative. But then we have some scholars who are still working towards that mastery. So they might be at the 2.0 level, where the student generally submits work on time, around 70% or more, meets the expectations for assignments, and demonstrates an effort and desire to grow academically. For 9.2.2, the student generally follows your classroom norms, procedures, and guidelines. Anyone who meets one or of the 2.0 and one of the 3.0 standards would be in that 2.5 range. But any of our scholars who fall short of those 2.0 requirements would end up in the 1.5 or lower categories. So you might be saying, well, how does this look on a day-to-day basis and how do I assess it? If we scroll down further in the document, there's some additional tools that we've included to help you out. The first is a student personal engagement assessment tool, and this can happen with students doing a self-reflection first to really get them to understand how their actions impact this grade within their class. So you've got some sections that reflect on their organizational skills, and they rate themselves as 1 as an always, 0.5 some of the time, or infrequently or never as a 0. So the student would complete this evaluation. The teacher can give some feedback, and additional comments can also be included. Again, overall, for this, again, looking for that score, overall grade for this band would be between a, 0 or all the way up to that 4.0. For your next piece as well, again, looking at what else they've come up with, this counts for 921 and 931 down here. Same deal. Students would self-reflect and give themselves a score as a 0.5 or 1, and then teachers would give that information as well. So this is one tool that you can use with your students to help them regularly assess their progress in moral focus. And this is another tool that we've included for teachers to do an engagement tracking sheet. The things that you can look for include organization or work habits, how willing and ready they are to collaborate, classroom engagement, and then any notes. This is also great to use if you're looking to, make some positive phone calls home if students have shown a lot of growth in this area over the previous couple of weeks. But again, another tool that you can choose to use for your tracking purposes. Students also sometimes really like to look at a rubric, so this is a great opportunity to talk through what this looks like with students in terms of time management, in terms of work completion, in terms of tracking their learning. That's rubric number 1. That's here. Also, rubric number 2 is following classroom norms, procedures, and guidelines. So writing this out and helping students know what this looks like on a day-to-day basis in your classroom. And again, this is the expectation across the board. So we found that by explaining this explicitly with students and being very concrete helps them understand what expectations they're being measured against in terms of moral focus, and again, what that looks like on a day-to-day basis, both in the advisory classes as well as within your core content classes. As always, if you have any questions, please reach out to us and we'd be more than happy to answer them. Happy hunting with more advisory curriculum.